Hey everybody. So I wanted to do a quick sort of rundown on the syllabus and again welcome you to the class. And if you didn't look at the other video, hi, I'm Dr. Ryan. I'm your instructor for this semester. And what I'll probably do, and I'll get into this more when we kind of go through the week by week material, is every week when I post part of a module, I'll post a little video first that should help you kind of give some context to what we're doing that week, the order in which you're supposed to be completing, looking at maybe external links, doing readings, watching some of the PowerPoints, turning in assignments, that kind of stuff. And it will just give you kind of a broad idea of what we're going to be concentrating on for that week. You can do this at your own pace. I'm going to open up the modules week by week. But, really what you want to pay attention to are assignment due dates, because I won't accept late assignments, and for sure take a look at the exam dates. And I leave those exams open for several days, so you should not have a problem finding some time, a little window of time to sit down and take those exams. I also prefer to call exams opportunities. They are your opportunity to show me how much you have learned. Sometimes I think even just the word exam or test freaks people out, so we'll go with opportunity. So I actually have printed out a copy of the syllabus here. It's available to you on D2L in the Start Here folder, but I wanted to kind of run through it as by way of introduction to the course material and the expectations for this semester. You'll notice at the very top is my contact information. I'm on the 5th floor of Social Sciences in the Communication Office Suite. So if you come into the School of Communication and Media on the 5th floor and you need to speak with me, you just tell them at the front desk that I'm your instructor and you need to chat for a minute. I'm setting up a different Skype handle, so as soon as I get that set up, I will make an announcement of that as well. So if we need to do sort of virtual office hours and you need to meet with me virtually, we can do that over Skype, and I can always help you via email. I will tell you the D2L email is terrible. We all know this, and I get so many emails because I'm the director of the Media and Entertainment Studies program. I get copied on hundreds of emails every semester through D2L. Best way to get me is directly through KSU email eryan3@kennesaw.edu. So because it's summertime, I don't have actual office hours or appointments set up, but I can be really flexible. So if you need to meet with me again virtually, over Skype, via email, or in person, you just let me know and I will make sure that we find a time that works for everybody. So if you take a look at the course overview and objectives, this is communication theory. I know that people are not thrilled about the fact that they have to take a theory class, but this is actually one of my favorite classes to teach because my objective is, obviously we've got, course objectives we have to meet, looking at different theoretical perspectives in the field of communication, looking at some of the major communication theories, some of the more historically important communication theories, and kind of my job here is to give you a description of the theories, but then also talk to you a little bit about how to analyze those theories, how to determine if they're useful for you. That is the goal. We're talking comm theory here, communication. So these theories should add something to your lives. You should be able to take a look at them and say, yes, I can see how this works in my personal life, or I see how this works at work, or I see how this works, as people watch the news, that kind of stuff. So we will be able to evaluate strengths and weaknesses of theories and things like that as we go through the semester. But I want you to, the takeaway should always be, why is this useful? Why should I care about these theories? So the textbook is the first look at communication theory. Here it is. Looks like this. And I think I have to update the syllabus, actually. I'm noticing on here that I have, oh no, it's correct, the 9th edition. So M. Griffin, Andrew Ledbetter, and Glenn Sparks are the authors of this particular textbook. We've been using this textbook for years. I really like it. The companion website's really helpful as well. They give you some behind the scenes with the actual theorists, the guys who, unfortunately mostly men, who have come up with all of these theories. You get to see them and kind of interact with them, and I think that's helpful. So obviously it's an online course, so we rely on D2L. This is how we communicate with each other. So it's going to be up to you to check every single day, check D2L, look for any new announcements or news items, Make sure you're keeping up with the course calendar. Due dates, as I mentioned, are really important because I can't accept late work. So when an assignment closes, it closes. And if you have not turned in that assignment, you get a 0 for that assignment. So make sure that you have whatever calendar you use, that you're writing everything down, you are keeping up with when those assignments are due. If you look at how you're going to be graded, really there's sort of two major categories of how you're going to be graded. So first are the opportunities, right? So the opportunities are, there's going to be 4 of them throughout the semester, essentially every 2 weeks. And they're not going to be comprehensive. So what I mean by that is we'll do a unit and it'll take about 2 weeks to get through all the pieces of the unit. And then we'll have an exam, an opportunity for you to show me, here's all the things I learned during this unit. And then we will kind of, not that I want you to kind of data dump out of your head everything we just learned, but we'll move on. And nothing from exam 1 is going to show up on exam 2, right? So the final isn't really a final, it's just test 4. So 4 of those opportunities are going to represent 20% of your final grade. So each one is 20, 40, 60, 80% out of just those opportunities. But I know not everybody is a great test taker, and a lot of people have test taking anxiety. I get that. So there's going to be a lot of like short writing assignments, homework assignments, maybe some short quizzes, things so that you can kind of bolster your grade. So if you're looking on page 2 of the syllabus, you'll see that the homework assignments, short quizzes, and any other kind of thing that I throw out there that's worth points, that's going to be the remaining 20% of your grade. And I caution you to not blow those off. Very often, these are the difference between a letter grade, an A and a B, or a B and a C, sometimes a C and a D. If you are not doing those little assignments, it's really going to affect your grade. I am not grading any kind of participation this summer. I want you to be logging on to D2L as much as possible. I, again, recommend you check it every single day, but we're not going to be doing discussion posts. We're not going to be doing anything, like group activities, things like that, because we only have 8 weeks to get through a lot of material, and I think what I would prefer that you guys do is really concentrate on your own learning and, making sure you are keeping up with reading the textbook chapters. It's very important because there will be questions on opportunities that maybe I didn't say in a lecture or a PowerPoint, but they come directly from your book chapter. So you need to make sure you're reading that material as well. But again, there really is no kind of attendance or participation going on because it's an online course. So you guys need to kind of take ownership of your learning this summer and know that if you get behind, if you start missing due dates, that you're going to be in trouble. But again, it's 8 weeks of your life. You can do this. I'm here to help you. If you find that you are having some issues with time management, or you are missing due dates and you're not really sure what to do, come talk to me. I'm happy to help you figure that out. So I'm going to let you read the course policies on your own on the syllabus. I will just say, if you're emailing me, and really this goes for any professor, be professional, be courteous. Always make sure that you use your KSU email. Very often if someone's emailing me from Yahoo or Gmail, I don't even get it. It goes right into my spam folder. So make sure that you are, saying, dear Dr. So-and-so, dear Professor So-and-so, and signing with your full name, and again, using the KSU email. So be professional, be courteous. There is some information on here on page 5 of the syllabus about plagiarism and cheating. In this particular course, because it's a summer course, we're not going to do a lot of, huge writing assignments, so I don't expect that plagiarism is going to be a big issue for us. The issue with cheating in an online course is that, we have these 4 opportunities. I am well aware that, you could be sitting in front of your computer to take the opportunity with your book in front of you, with your notes in front of you, and that is fine. What is not okay is to sit with your neighbor and both be taking the exam at the same time. And I will tell you that probably wouldn't work for you anyway for 2 reasons. One, because the opportunities are going to be timed. So if you haven't actually prepared or studied in any way, and you suddenly are trying to flip through all of your notes, flip through the book to get the right answer for a question, you're going to get behind and you're not going to have time to finish the opportunity. The other thing is that I have a huge test bank of tons of questions, and so your particular opportunity is going to pull at random from that test bank. So it's not even going to be the same questions as your neighbor. So it is really not even worth your time to try to sit together and take some of these opportunities. So again, it's up to you to kind of own, your experience here and own the learning and own the preparation. And, yes, it's an online course. It is fine if you have your book and notes in front of you for reference, but if you haven't prepared, if you haven't studied, you're not going to do well. Okay, so enough about that. You guys can read about academic integrity. Starting on page 7 of the syllabus, I have a lot of links on here about getting various kinds of help on campus, technical difficulties, academic resources like the Writing Center, tutoring services, the library, student support and wellness resources, so career services, counseling and psychological services, student health clinic. I have links for all of that. And then I also have information about advising. If you are this far along that you're taking Comm Theory, you probably are a declared major, and so you have an individual faculty member who can do advising with you. And use those advisors for mentoring as well. If you're thinking about grad school, if you're thinking, I don't know what I want to do when I graduate, talk to those professors as well. But if you really just need someone to kind of guide you about what classes to take next, you can still do that through the CHSS Advising Center that you could visit, even before you were officially a major. So you can use that as well. All right, so the very last thing I wanted to touch on is our course calendar. So you will see here, right, the first top box. Module number 1 is entitled, What is Communication Theory and How Do We Evaluate Theory? So this first module is going to take us 2 weeks. And week 1 information is going to open up tomorrow, Tuesday, the first day of class. And then week 2 information will open up next week, so that you'll have a full week, really, if you want to time it out that way. And what will be in each week's module, so it'll be like module 1, week 1, and then module 1, week 2, that you will see. I will narrate some PowerPoints for you. I will remind you to be reading book chapters. I will put up some assignments, and the due dates will also show up in the course calendar that you see on that main page on D2L to remind you, hey, you've got something due today. So we're going to start again with this first module of what is theory. I know that you guys very often come to this class with a little bit of anxiety, and that's a real thing. Theory anxiety is a real thing because it sounds so kind of out there and abstract and nebulous. So that's why I like to start the semester by talking about what is theory? Why do we care about it? Why is it worth studying? Why do I have to take this class kind of stuff? So we're going to start kind of big picture in Module 1 for the first 2 weeks of the semester, and then you'll take your first opportunity. And it will open on Sunday, June 11th at noon. And I'm going to give you until that Wednesday at just shy of midnight. So 11:59 and 59 seconds is when it's going to shut down on that Wednesday, June 14th. So you will have a few days to log in, take the opportunity. Do not wait until the last minute. That's my biggest piece of advice, because there can be technical difficulties. You may try to log in at 11:30 and then you don't have enough time to take it. It's just going to shut down at 11:59. Don't wait until Wednesday. Try to get it done early, and then it'll get graded. You'll see your grade and you can move on to the next module. All right, Module 2 is going to be weeks 3 and 4. We're going to talk about theories of interpersonal communication and theories of persuasion. So that module opens June 15th, the day after we take that first opportunity. So week 3, we've got 3 theories we're going to talk about. Again, I will post PowerPoints that are narrated so you can hear me kind of explaining what's what, give you examples, making sure you're reading the textbook chapters. I'll put up maybe little homework assignments, mini quizzes, things like that to kind of boost your points in that extra 20% that you're being graded on. And then week 4, we'll concentrate on 2 additional theories, and then we wrap up Module 2. That opportunity is going to open Sunday, June 25th at noon, and that you'll need to take that online before that Wednesday, June 28th. Then the following day, Module 3, Week 5 will open. And in Module 3, we're going to talk a little bit more about persuasion, and we're also going to talk about media and culture. And this is really kind of my wheelhouse, right? Because I mentioned that I'm the director for Media and Entertainment Studies. My background is mass communication. I actually study children in media, how they use media technology, how they're affected by media, can they learn from media, starting from infancy. So these are some of my favorite theories that we'll talk about when we start getting into mass comm and media and culture. So week 5, we'll talk about rhetoric, semiotics, and the narrative paradigm, and again have some assignments for you to complete that week. Week 6 of Module 3 is cultural studies and cultivation theory. Again, 2 of my favorites that I'm excited to talk to you guys about. All right, Module 4 will open up the day after that third opportunity that opens July 9th, that Sunday at noon, and you'll take that online before Wednesday the 12th. So Module 4, our very last module, is Week 7 and Week 8, and that's theories of media effects. So again, these are some of the ones that I really, really love. And I picked some theories to talk to you guys about. They're not actually in your textbook, that I find are useful and interesting. And that when I teach the media and entertainment studies capstone class, that students tend to really enjoy those kinds of media effects theories and use them in their final projects. So weeks 7 and 8 during Module 4, we're talking agenda setting, spiral of silence, uses and gratifications, and then social learning or social cognitive theory, which is one of the ones I use all the time with kids and media stuff, capacity theory, and something called faceism, which I think is really interesting. It's not fascism. That's something very, very different. It's spelled very similarly, though, so don't get confused. And that will wrap up with the last opportunity, which is going to open Sunday, July 23rd at noon, and you will take that before the final exam date and time for us, which is Wednesday, July 26th. But remember, it's not a comprehensive final exam. This is just opportunity 4. That's just going to cover Module 4, so weeks 7 and 8. So take a look at the syllabus when you have a moment. Familiarize yourself with all of the information there. And if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'm happy to chat with you, or obviously send me an email and I'll send you a quick response if I can. I'm usually pretty responsive to email within 24 hours. Sometimes, especially if it's a weekend, it might be 48 because I don't have access to my KSU email all the time. But I want to welcome you. I'm very excited that you guys have decided to do this as an online journey this summer. And I don't want you to ever feel isolated or, that you don't. I want you to have the confidence to, pick up the phone, give me a call, Skype, email, come to the office, introduce yourself. I don't want you to feel sort of like left on your own. Which I think sometimes happens in an online environment. So if there's anything that I can do to help you, please let me know. And if you're ever confused about anything assignment-wise or something I say in a lecture, please, again, don't hesitate to ask questions, all right? So welcome. I'm excited about this 8-week journey. And take a look at Module 1, and I'll start just kind of by talking about what is theory, and we'll start there. Okay? All right.